Welcome, everyone, to another edition of Pre-Market Prep at the close. Spencer Israel, Joel Elconin with you today. Well, Joel, we've gotten a little bit quieter, at least on the oil front. Walk us through today's action here.
Well, it started out. Well, first of all, just recapping the S&Ps are trading down 64 and a half handles at 27.42, 27.40 right now. Tried to rally a couple times off the open. There was a Trump tweet about saving our oil companies, and that sparked a rally far short of the pre-market high. We finally took out that support at 27.50, took us down to 2017 and at 27.17 and a quarter. And if we bounce back up a few times, but now just not quite being able to stay in the 27.40 handle. Crude, I don't know what contract you want to look at. I guess we'll just stick with the June monster volume today. It looked like that thing was on the ropes. Went down to $6.50. I saw it halted at 6.90. Caught a bid, turned around. Of course, the cash closes at 2.30, but it's trading at 13.60 now. So taking back a good portion of those losses. We can talk about the USO here in a minute. Gold and silver are both in the red. So pretty much a red day all around.
All right, well, we got some updates on the USO. We know they had halted this thing in the morning, and they had a regulatory filing out. They said, okay, a couple things, one of which I understand, one of which I don't. First things first, we are now allowed to buy any available futures contract. So as of today, USO owns some June, some July, and some August crude contracts. That's the first thing. The second thing is that they're temporarily suspending creation units, which is what I don't understand, because I'm not sure how creation units are how ETFs stay in line with their NAV, right? You go to the market, you buy $10 million worth of the fund, the ETF, and the market maker goes into the open market, buys the corresponding assets, the underlying assets, then swaps it with the ETF provider, and that's what enables the fund to track the NAV. They're suspending creation units, which means they're capping the number of shares in USO right now. I'm not quite sure how that wouldn't impact the price of the fund. With the supply capped, with the number of shares capped for now. I guess I'm not really sure why wouldn't USO just go up with, like, now there can be more buyers than sellers is what I'm saying. So I'm not really sure why USO wouldn't just go up if we ever get to a point where there are more buyers than sellers and they have suspended creation units. So I don't quite understand that. I feel like that could potentially lead to the fund having a pretty high tracking error from the underlying asset, which is the price of crude, whatever crude contracts they're holding. So I'm not quite sure about that, but we got at least we got something from USO, which is what we wanted to hear.
Yeah, I mean, it just sounds like they're kind of making it up as they go here. I guess. Yeah. I never thought that they ever, they probably never imagined, the situation that happened yesterday. You just have, the wild, wild west there in in the crude oil futures, and you're trying to tie a ETF, an exchange traded product to a futures product. And, we saw, what was it in the middle of last year? What was it? SVXY. I mean, this is not the first time that you've had this kind of disconnect with the market. A lot of people got wiped out on that as well. I don't know if I guess they're doing what they need to do to survive here. And I think crude rallying off the low this morning certainly helped. I mean, I think we're still trading very, very very far below where the Brent is trading. So there's a lot of disconnect here, and crude is trying to rebound at 1356. So I have a feeling that this story is not going to be
Not,
over. It's not going to be
yeah.
over for quite some time.
Yeah, and maybe someone in the chat can explain to me why the USO wouldn't just become disconnected from the underlying contracts. Which, again, if they're capping the number of shares, that one doesn't make sense to me. But I'll try to do some research and understand that a little better for
Sure.
tomorrow. All right, 10 minutes before the close here, Joel. It is one of the bigger earnings days of the quarter here. We're gonna get Netflix, we're gonna get Chipotle, we're gonna get Snap, we're gonna get Texas Instruments. Four big names after the close here. Let's start with Netflix. We looked at this thing this morning. Uh, I think Nick said it best, honestly. It's a total coin flip. You don't know, it'll be good. The numbers will be good. You don't know how the market will react to said good numbers. So, total coin flip.
Yeah. I mean, this stock has just had an incredible run. People staying at home here under the recent circumstances. Boy, it's made a new all-time high going into a report. Still trading. It's starting to fade here a little bit in the session. Looking at what's the high for the session here. The high today, 449.52. You've backed off that by 10, 12 bucks. So I guess if you're looking for a pop on this, the 450 area may be targeted. I mean, if we start to go into the decline on this thing, boy, oh boy. There's a pair of lows that's called 432, but you go down to 412 and a quarter and then under 400 bucks. I mean, this kind of you don't know how they're going to react to the report. I just think they really better blow it away or else this thing's going to run into some problems. We did skip the 350. I have not seen the actual imbalances, nor was I keeping a super close eye on the screen. But I think they could be tilted to the sell side here. We were trading in the 2740 area. We dropped to 2730. So we'll wait to see what those actual imbalances are. But it's gonna be the subscriber growth, and will good be good enough for Netflix?
Right. So recall for the past couple of quarters, Netflix has been trying to sell the idea like it's not about the U.S. subscribers. Look over here. Look over here. It's all about
Yes.
the international subscribers. Forget the U.S. It's all about the other countries, the rest of the world. So I'm very curious to see the dichotomy between the U.S. subscriber growth and the international subscriber growth. They've been pounding the table on the international side for the past couple quarters, maybe the last year. Very interested to see how their subscriber count grew in the US compared to overseas. All right, let's move on to Chipotle here in that group of expensive
Mhm.
restaurant stocks. This one just sort of hanging out on the high 700s.
Yeah,
Uh,
moved up. I mean, it took a hit, and along with the rest of the market in late February, early March, has had a nice rebound. Has not been able to get back to that old time high over 900. When you look at it, I know it's not gonna. It's just because it's such a high price stock. I'm looking at the highs from the last three sessions. Got a little today. You got to 829, or excuse me, 809, but. There's a pair of highs above that if you're looking for a target, 822 and 824.85. Call that 823 the highs of the move. The recent highs move well over 50% retracement on this one. I don't know. I mean, can the quarter be good? I mean, with the part that good portion of it country, actually being shut down. So I would have high expectations on this one, and we'll see what they say about moving forward.
I mean, I've ordered Chipotle
Oh, you did?
at least once in the last month, so I account for a portion of these earnings here. But
Okay.
yeah, I don't know how you I don't know how you buy any of these stocks without any clear timetable of when we're going to reopen.
Exactly.
That's just my 2 cents on any of
Yeah,
these
we did.
names.
I did see something about we had quite a few new cases today, didn't we?
Yeah, I had the numbers up here in a different tab. We've got as of a few minutes ago, 2,100 new deaths today, a total of 16,800 new cases across the country. So yeah, it's not slowing down. It's slowing down in the death rate is slowing down in New York in the hot spots,
That's
but it's
good.
not slowing down around the country, which is not what you want to see here. Let's look at Snap, Joel, Snapchat,
Okay.
Snap Inc., whatever you want to call it. Um, I don't know about this one.
Quiet ahead of the report.
Yeah.
I guess they're not as affected by the
They
right.
are they make their money off ads. That's all.
Okay.
That's the entire business is ad revenue. And so with, what's the first area of spending to get cut in a recession is advertising. So I would not be excited. Just like I'm not excited about Facebook, I'd be even less excited about Snapchat.
Yeah, it's been a little bit quiet as of late here, heading into the session. I mean, this stock has never been. I mean, it's had its run from $5. In the past, you hit that 7.89 level back when the market bottomed in March. Got in trouble at 14. So if you see a pop to this over $14, I think it had a high right there at 14.09. So that's a buck and a half away. If you get a pop up to that $14 area off the report, I expect to see some sellers. On the rebound here, if we go back, we've had about a 6 point move. So, right from $8 to 14.6. So the $11 area. If you're looking for support in this thing, I do see a couple lows at the $11 area. So if they don't like the report, we'll look at I see three lows in a row. 10 actually four 1098, 1102, 1085, and I guess the other one is a little bit higher than that, 1132. So they don't like the report, they slam it. We'll see if you see 11, and if they like it and they take it up, we'll see what happens at 14. S&P's dipped into the 2720 handle once again. Haven't checked the imbalances, but now starting to rebound. They've kind of been they've been getting smaller. They've been getting smaller and smaller lately. I think is
I'm seeing 1.8 to sell, 1.5 billion to sell,
that's pretty good.
700 million to sell. It says Corpina. So
Okay.
yeah, that's pretty small. All right, TXN, Texas Instruments here, expected to report earnings of $1.01 on revenue, $3.19 billion. Oh, weekday. Well,
How is Texas Instrument doing ahead of the report? Not bad. Uh, man, oh man, with all these companies here, let's see how we doing today. No, it is having a bad day. It's down $4. Some profit taking in this one. Didn't quite get to quite the rebound off the low, but it didn't get hit quite as hard. I'm just going to look at the 115. Let's call it 114 and a half, 115. If you get a big pop on this, that 2 and 3 day highs, that's where it came in at. If you're looking from your March low, this thing doesn't move as much. You had your March low at $93, went to 115, so 22.11. Yeah, 102, 103. I don't know if you see any daily lows in that area. That could be potential support. 103.51 was your low that you had on April 6th. And then you really fall off to 98.85. So uh, just kind of quiet. I mean, compared to the rest of the market, that Texas Instrument doesn't look like it's moved a whole lot. Considerably off its all-time high. Tech held up a little bit better. That all-time high is up at 135.70 from January.
and then just briefly looking ahead to tomorrow morning, a lot of earnings on the radar this week here. I can just go to my pro and look who's reporting. AT&T is probably the big one. Delta Airlines is the other big one. Biogen is tomorrow. So a number of big names tomorrow morning. Baker Hughes, NASDAQ reports tomorrow morning. So yeah, it's a big week. We know that Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays are typically the biggest days of the week for earnings. So we are in the thick of it now, folks. All right, under a minute before the close, Joel. How are we looking?
We're gonna end up down around 75 handles here, 76 handles, depending what goes on. We're settling off the low here. Your low was 27.17 and a quarter, so we'll be keeping an eye on the overnight session at that level. I do know if we do to continue to decline, there is a low, I believe, at 27.01 or 27.02. Let me take a quick look here.
There we go.
27.01. Yep. 27.01, that was your April 9th low. That's another potential area. Then under 2700, I think, is when things would get pretty interesting here on the downside. But we'll see which way the market takes us overnight with the earnings report.
Here, just to see, when does Netflix usually come out? I just want to quick look it up here. They're usually out at 4 o'clock, so they're probably out right now.
Okay, let's see if it's moving at all. You seeing it in your pro?
I'm looking at a few different places
Yeah,
right now.
it's spiking up. Let's see here.
Fade that. I don't know.
All right.
Yeah, I was just looking to see. So Netflix should be out. They're usually out at 4
It's
o'clock.
out. It's up. They
Yeah.
beat. They're rallying. They're at the highs of the session. They took out that all-time high. So they like the report so far. Strong report for
Whoa.
Netflix. People staying home and watching.
I guess so. All right. Tomorrow on the pre-market prep, we'll be joined by David Trainer. He is the founder and CEO of New Constructs. He's going to tell us what he's looking for deep in these earnings reports this season. You can catch a replay of this broadcast or any of our broadcasts on our YouTube channel. And please remember, all the information is meant to be used as informational purposes only, not for investing or trading advice. Everyone have a great rest of your day. Be safe wherever you are. We'll be back with you